Welcome into episode 19 of the Bleav in Twins podcast on the Bleav Network. We're back, guys. I'm your host, Anders Pryor, alongside, joined by my wonderful co-host, analyst, and expert, Zac Tipton, who, like me, has cycles where you have to itch Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, and Panda Express out of your system just kind of seasonally.
Absolutely. No, 100%.
Those are my three guesses. Did I say Panda Express first? It's Panda Express today.
Panda Express was your second guess. It was not your first guess. It was your second guess.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A was your first.
Chick-fil-A.
But yeah, no, I am very bad. I am a big fast food guy, and I eat a little bit too much fast food. I will admit. That's obviously not good for you, and I should not do that as much. But I can't cook. So that's just how it is. So I have not taught myself how to cook. So we are just having to live off of the fast food. And sadly for me, I live near basically every single fast food chain restaurant within about a 5-minute drive for me.
Nice and easy.
So it makes it a little harder to say no to fast food when I can just go like a minute down the street and get McDonald's or Jersey Mike's or something like that. So
I'm not a huge fast food guy either. Like if I'm like on like a road trip or something and like I see like a Burger King or like a Subway like as on like the next exit.
Subway's on a road trip hit different. Subway on a road trip hits different.
Subway never hits ever. I don't think it does.
I think on a road trip, if you see a random Subway out in the middle of nowhere at a gas station, that Subway just hits different. Okay.
The reason that I said those three places to open the show is because those are like the three food out. Those three and Shake Shack are the only fast food places that I actually like. You know, I'm like McDonald's is fine, but like I don't like Subway. I don't like Burger King. I don't like Taco Bell. I don't like White Castle. I don't like Arby's. There's a bunch of weird ones. There's like weird.
There's certain ones that I will eat. Like, so for me personally, Taco Bell, I will only eat if it's after midnight and I'm starving. It has to be after midnight though. Taco Bell only hits after midnight, and that is a true statement. McDonald's I'm addicted to. That's not good. Yeah. But it is literally like I can walk to my McDonald's, which is why I go there so much though. But I'm the type of guy that will go get myself like Jersey Mike's subs or Chipotle.
Right.
And then come back and also get a large fry of McDonald's just for my side to both of those things. Because Yeah, no, legit. Like it's literally on my way home to go get McDonald's from those places. So I'm the type of guy that like I'll always go to Chipotle. Every time I go to Chipotle, I always go to McDonald's and get myself a fry to go with Chipotle.
I can't mix and match. Like I can like a little bit, but like I don't know. Like if I like really want Chipotle, like I'm gonna go all out. And I haven't had Chipotle in like a while. Like I'm gonna go all out at Chipotle. I'm gonna get like the full bowl. I'm gonna get the guac in the bowl, and I'm also gonna get the guac and chips on the side, and I'm gonna get the drink.
See, I don't like their salsa that much. Like they're just the regular pico. So I'm not a big pico salsa guy. I usually like that's what I'll do when I go to places like that. But like I like
places.
But I like homemade. I just like a classic like Mexican style salsa.
Right.
Is my go-to salsa.
Cube ones, like the Tostitos ones where it's just like it's like kind of salsa, but like also kind of pico de gallo, like that weird like middle ground. That always rubs me the wrong way. I think that stuff's gross.
Okay, that's what I usually get when I get salsa from the store.
No, see, I like it when it's either like the kind of very like smooth pasty salsa that you get at like those like at like Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, that's why I like more. That's why I like more for sure.
Or like the pure pico, but like the Tostitos ones are like this like weird like middle ground that I think is just weird and gross.
Like I will literally go to my Mexican restaurant. I have one like literally a block down the street. There's a classic like a family Mexican restaurant that you always see. There's one block down my street. I always go there and I get myself a chips and salsa to go from there all the time because it really is the best chips and salsa.
I'll do Chipotle, just like guac and chips, like just that sometimes if it's a very distinct kind of thing.
Shout out Los Sombreros Mexican restaurant. Goated.
I don't. Yeah, I don't even have a restaurant on top of mine to shout out. That's on a chain. I came under.
I feel like in New York City, you gotta have a ton of those Mexican, like those family Mexican restaurants.
There are some around here, like in my neighborhood, like here in the city. Like there's not as many of those places. Like there are, but like all like the really good ones are in like the Village or like Tribeca or like whatever. So
there's a couple in Hell's Kitchen I've been to. I know there's a couple in Hell's Kitchen.
In Hell's Kitchen, they're everywhere. Some are
in Hell's Kitchen, yeah, they're just food and have food everywhere. I mean, especially on 9th Ave. I mean, 9th Ave is literally all food.
It's great. No, I know that there's a.
See, Anders didn't think I knew New York City geography like that. Anders didn't think I knew New York City geography like that.
In my area, you know a strip of land. Like, you know the characteristics of a strip of land where I live. I can't even point to Mesa on a map. I don't even think I could point to Phoenix on a map. Mesa, give me a break.
No, I know New York City. I'm in New York City.
Who doesn't?
My grandparents used to live in New York. So my grandparents used to have an apartment in New York City.
So that's a real connection. I was gonna make an obnoxious. We've all seen Breakfast at Tiffany's joke.
No. My grandparents have an apartment right off 9th Avenue. So I've spent a lot of time on 9th Avenue. That's where we go for food every single night. Is 9th Ave. We'll find a new restaurant on 9th Ave every single night. But no, I love New York City. I gotta say, New York City food, it makes me hate coming back like AZ or coming back to places and just getting fast food. Because when I go to New York City, I'm like, it's just like, man, the food is just so amazing.
Right. And you can find good cheap stuff here that's like not cheap.
Yeah, you can. That's the thing is like people always talk about how expensive New York City is. I'm like, you could go and find places that are actually pretty cheap.
You have to.
You gotta look for it, but you gotta find. You can find it.
TikTok is a great tool, like for that, like in just terms of like entire people. Like there are people on TikTok whose entire point of their channel is like finding like different like hidden gems in New York where you can like get like a meal for like under $10 or something. It's great. It's a really helpful tool.
One of these days, Anders, we're gonna do an in-person podcast. We're gonna see each other in person, do an in-person
podcast, and it's gonna be us in the back. And while we're talking about the Twins, there's just gonna be like a spread of like 7 different like authentic restaurants, and we're gonna like give a take, and then go in and like pick up a piece of my like Turkish food or my Georgian food or something, and then go back into talking.
I will say this, Anders, if you're a steakhouse kind of guy, I don't know if you've ever been to this one. It's called Que Paso.
No.
It's on 9th Ave, I Bleav. Okay. Closer to like 42nd Street, I want to say. So it's there might be a little bit south of you. But like 42nd Street. It's an incredible steakhouse. Like one of the best steakhouses I've ever been to in my life. I want to make sure I got the name right. It might be I think it's Que Paso.
There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of it's weird. Like some of them are like trendy, and then like you go online and like they're really, really great steakhouses, but then like they're like either like blown out of proportion, and then so like everyone starts saying they're overrated, but then like it's really overrated to the point where they're kind of saying it sucks. They don't suck. There's just like an overcorrection. Now I feel like that was happening for a while when like TikTok like really blew up. Now I feel like a lot of those like big trendy like New York places I feel like are now properly rated. Let
me make sure I get the right one, because there is a steakhouse on 9th for sure. I mean, I've been to it. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna find this for you. I will let you know. I will let you know when I will find this steakhouse for you. But I know you always like to give us food
recommendations.
Pops, but I'm gonna be the one that gives you it this time. I just remember what the name is. I think it's Que Paso.
Yeah.
But
I gotta tell you, Zach, it's First of all, it's great to see you as always. I had a nice kind of thing with Zach earlier in the week where I texted him. I was like, hey, like these shows that like him and I do are like the joys and the highs of like each other's weeks. Like it's just like it's like a thing that we do, and like it's so like simple. Like we're just coming on here and we talk, but it's like a really uniquely great like kind of thing that we do, given like how we've known each other and how long we've known each other. But Zach, I gotta ask you, because we're getting to October now. Well, we're not. We were in October. I've had this kind of weird thing where I always like associate like I always have a very big correlation between like the seasons in like sports. So it's like, okay, like it's the first sub 70 day since whatever amount of time we're about to get into football. It's like, okay, it's starting to snow outside. NBA Christmas is right around the corner, and like this season's like actually gonna start, not just like whatever, like in October, like when it like starts. Baseball, right? That's the big one.
Yeah.
Like baseball and like the hope and like the vitamin D that like spring and summer bring, like that's the big one. But for a lot of people, that is Halloween. I've never been a huge Halloween like person. I know like some people that kind of like live and die for it and live and die for like spooky movies. I will say this as a sports fan and as someone who has obviously dressed up for Halloween before, I hate it with a passion. And you guys can let me know if you agree with this or not. I hate it with a passion when their Halloween costume is just a jersey and they're just that athlete. Like they'll just take like some like random kid, like back in like, when we were in middle school, would just take like a Heat Dwayne Wade jersey and like nothing else. And like that's what they were. Like they were Dwayne Wade for Halloween or like that, but like whatever. I think that's really annoying. I always think it's super lazy. I think it should be barred and banned from Halloween parties. It sucks.
Yeah, no, I would also agree with you there.
Are you a big Halloween guy?
What was that?
Are you a big Halloween guy?
Yeah, no, not at all. Actually, so no, sorry. I just was checking something quick. Okay. No, I am not. I actually am the biggest anti-Halloween guy you'll ever meet.
Really?
I physically hate the holiday. I would rather be in my room just doing nothing on that holiday than doing anything else.
Halloween?
On Halloween. I don't like dressing up at all.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be myself, first of all.
Yeah.
I will say I did I think I did go to a party once dressed as Zac Efron. I might have tried to do that once.
How do you dress up as Zac Efron?
I wore a basketball jersey and had a basketball.
Okay.
And just said I was Zac Efron. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It was fine. Yeah, no, it was I hated it.
It's weird to me when people start asking you what you're gonna be for Halloween in like mid-August.
Oh, 100%.
That's really weird to me. Like that seems like a little much. Like I get it if you're like a parent. It's like it's kind of strange, right? Because they're basically like costume parties. Like, and I get it if you're like a parent, right? Like you have a kid, you want to go take them trick-or-treating, like you dress up too, or like you'll dress up as something if you're like doing the trick-or-treating in your neighborhood or whatever it is, right? Like I get that. And when you're like in high school or even like middle school, dude, middle school Halloween parties were like it. Like that was the peak, right there. Like you could dress up as like whatever, and like it literally didn't matter.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But then like it's like weird, right? Because once you get to like less so high school, like in college and like fresh out of college, like people in like their 20s, like late 20s, are like doing costume parties throughout the year anyway. And so like
that's true.
And so like it's not, so it kind of makes the whole like Halloween party component thing like a little less like because otherwise it's just like okay, well, it's something we would want to do in like March or whatever, but like this specific date at the end of October gives us like kind of like a jump start or like a force of hand to like just get it done anyway.
Yeah, no, I hate costumes. But I will say when I was a kid, I rocked the NFL player look multiple times. I also rocked.
I didn't realize. I apologize.
I
was unfamiliar with their game.
I did the full the full leggings. Like I got like the NFL NFL pants, and like I got the jersey and the helmet, obviously.
Okay. See, like that's different. That's different. Like if you want to dress up as like Michael Jordan, like you get the jersey, but then you also get like the shorts. You find like a vintage pair of like Jordan shoes and like Nike socks, and you wear something on or like whatever, or you can like pick like a pair of something, and you at least bring a basketball with you. There's like the other guys like in what they look like at the Halloween party, with just like the Magic Johnson jersey on, and what they look like at the Darty that they were at like 2 months ago looks exactly the same. Basically, you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. But I will also say I was a big rocker of Power Rangers costumes.
Oh, we uncovered that last time, so that doesn't shock anyone.
Yeah, no, I was a big Power Rangers costume guy. Guilty. I would always find. I think I wore the Jungle Fury Power Ranger costume once in my life. There's been a few, but yeah, no, I hate Halloween though, and I hate Halloween. Especially when it's gonna be like 110 here because it just has not gotten cold.
Right. So it's not really October. That's the other.
It's not really October for me yet.
And so like I get it too. Like I wouldn't want to put on like a 3-layer costume if it was like 95 degrees outside. And then you gotta like go into like a party and you're already sweating in there, and then you gotta come out and it's like night, but it's still like 80 and you're just uncomfortable and you gotta, it sucks. I get it for sure.
Like I get couples costumes, but also I'm not in a relationship. I'm not in a relationship, so that doesn't make it easier. That doesn't make it any helpful either. No, so I don't know. I'm just not a Halloween guy. That's just always in me. Halloween's at least a good holiday.
Yeah. I'm not a Halloween guy. I'll do it, but there are some people out there that take it a little they get like too excited. Like
do you and Kate have a couple's costume planned? Do you and Kate have a couple's costume planned?
We are going to be Flounder and Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. I'm gonna be Sebastian. I kind of just wanted to be like a lobster. Like I just thought that was like would be like a funny, like just like cheap plastic costume to wear. And I would just like be like a lobster, just like hanging out in like in a room full of guys dressed.
That's actually kind of adorable. That's kind
bunch of guys dressed as like Hugh Hefner for the 13th time or whatever. Like that would just be funny. But then now you can like see you're laughing because it's funny, but you also know what I'm talking about.
No, I do. That's why I think it's hilarious. you laughed for the 13th time.
But now it's interesting because I get to have like my silly moment, and so but it also like works in a context too. So like 2 birds, 1 stone, it works out fine. I'm trying to think of the stuff that I wore when I was. What did I even wear? I dressed up as Napoleon Dynamite one year. Actually, that was funny.
Love that.
That was great. I'd do that again, honestly. I didn't do a wig. I did the glasses, and my vision wasn't bad enough at the time where I didn't need glasses. So it was like okay. I just wore like fake glasses and like the whole like fit basically. But I didn't do the wig, so I didn't like fully sell it. I should have sold it. So, but that's Halloween talk, guys.
That's our Halloween talk. As you can tell, I'm not a Halloween fan. And I will never be a Halloween fan. You can get mad at me later. Yeah. You can roast me in the comments for hating Halloween, but I think Halloween's so stupid. And I just have no interest in handling it. But with that, Anders, I want to talk about a couple things outside of baseball.
Yes.
Because the NFL this week happened. The NFL and college football happened this week. Obviously, there were a ton of major upsets in college football. But obviously, we don't need to talk about them here. But we do have another podcast. This is my intro into hyping up our other podcast. The Nerds Room Sports. Link will be in bio to it. Link will be in the description. Nerds Room Sports. We talk about everything college football, NFL, NBA, MLB. Well, not really much MLB, but NBA, college football, and NFL football. We do talk about there. We will talk about every single major upset that happened in college football this past week and a lot of the major NFL games.
Mm-hmm.
However, because this is a Minnesota sports podcast, we felt inclined to bring up one college football game that happened this past week. And many of the Minnesota fans that are watching this podcast are going to know what I'm talking about. The Minnesota Golden Gophers upset number 11 USC Trojans to have one of their biggest wins since probably their win against Penn State. What was that, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Minnesota beat Penn State. That was definitely the biggest win. That was the second biggest win of the PJ Fleck era, in my opinion. And it probably saved PJ Fleck's job for another 2 years, even though it shouldn't.
Right. Yeah.
And Minnesota fans will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. Yeah, you as Minnesota fans will all know exactly what I'm saying when I say that win just saved PJ Fleck's job for 2 more seasons. You watching this right now, I know you know what I'm saying. So it's just I listen, I'm not a Minnesota Golden Gophers fan, I'll admit it. I'm not. I'm a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. But this is a Minnesota sports podcast. I just have to say, it was an incredible game for Minnesota to win.
It's really fascinating because, the trajectory. Well, there's 2 things, right? So, number one, just on Fleck, it's really interesting to see the trajectory of his how he did the discourse around him, where in 2019, right, 2019, 2020, he was viewed as a trendy under the radar head coaching candidate for in the NFL. And then as time went on, it was is this PJ Fleck's last year at Minnesota? Is he going to get fired? Not is he going to leave? Is he going to get fired? So it's really crazy how much that perspective of him has changed in such a drastic period of time. But the other big kind of takeaway for this second, I didn't see all of it, but one of the kind of things here was the Minnesota players getting called for taunting and taunting in a way. It was such a bizarre. This is not the exact quoting of it. I apologize, but it was one of the most unique and strange and bizarre referee calls I've ever seen. It was something personal foul, 15
brandishing. It was brandishing a weapon or brandishing a firearm, or signifying brandishing a firearm or something like that.
Signifying brandishing a firearm, which is so weird because the whole you get you see nose tackles all the time. They get a sack, right, and then they get a sack and then they army crawl and then they do the sniper thing. Right? That happens all the time. But I think the guy, didn't he lift up the side of his shirt or something? And or he did something. I forget.
This is the tweet, and I want Minnesota fans, well, not the brandishing weapon. I have a picture of that. Brandishing a firearm. Let me see here. Wait, how did that not work? I thought that would be Golden Gophers. I should know this freaking. I had the picture, I thought. It's so weird, though. It was I don't know.
I'm trying to.
Simulating brandishing weapon. That was the title. That was
Simulating
it.
brandishing.
It was simulating branding. It was simulating brandishing a weapon. Let me see if I can figure that out. Yeah, this is the picture. Here's the picture.
Here we go.
I was
trying to look for it too.
I was like, this is the photo.
Quicker, different me. Yeah, that's exactly what yeah.
That was the photo that was the signifying brandishing a weapon penalty on Minnesota. That is so insane. I've never seen anything like that. And then my favorite tweet of this is exactly what I was gonna show here. I have another tweet I want to show here. Where is it? It's right here, isn't it? No, it's not there. Okay, I will find it. But there's another tweet I want to show here. That was like oh yeah, here it is. This one. That's this one. There we go. That's a tweet.
The annual like hype moment where fans forget about the constant hope to replace him.
It's just, I mean, that is the definition of exactly what it is. PJ Fleck will always have this one moment a year that will save his job, and that's just how it works. But no, that's Minnesota's Gophers.
Yep.
On the NFL side, the Minnesota Vikings, Anders,
went
into London. Beat
the Jets.
Oh yeah, I was definitely gonna hype that a bit more. You didn't have to.
I had to steal that from you.
For those of you who have not figured it out by now, our resident Yankees fan is also a resident Jets fan, and so this is a fun week for me. I get to watch Andrews squirm a little bit as we talk about this Minnesota Vikings Jets game, where the Vikings made Aaron Rodgers look like Sam Darnold when he was in Jets uniform.
Nice.
And I think Aaron Rodgers was seeing ghosts over there, Anders. What about you? You agree?
Yeah. Sure, why not? If that's what you want, yeah.
Anders, your thoughts on this amazing, fantastic, incredible game?
Yeah, I hope you get pleasure from this, Zach, and I hope you sleep great tonight.
I'm gonna get so much pleasure from this, Anders.
No, what I was saying to Zach before the call, it sucked because we caught Sam really on his one off night the entire season and couldn't thread the needle. Unfortunately, it's very strange. The Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson connection it's starting to become like a real concern because even in a lot of it, to me, like I dock like 65% of that to Hackett because the issue that you have is that this would like Garrett Wilson had over 100 yards yesterday and he was great in terms of just like production. The problem is that like because Hackett's scheme is kind of uncreative, he's not really kind of being schemed open. Like you kind of have to you put him inside of route concepts and integrate him into route schemes on one side of the hash where like he kind of has to get himself open. Like he can't really be schemed open. I feel like if there was a little more creativity, then I feel like the connection, he would be like wide open for certain stuff. And that connection would be maybe, 3 games ahead of like where it should be, where like this game kind of was more like game one, maybe not in terms of the yards, but in terms of like the connection. But that is starting to become like a real issue. And the defense has gotten better each and every game. And there seems to be like a lack of capitalizing on it. But no, Zach, you had said that Brian Flores, I thought you said this was his best performance of the year. Excuse me. I still think his best performance of the year was probably the game against the Texans.
Yeah, that's definitely. I don't think I regretted saying that I said that. I think it is against the Texans as well. But this was a really incredible performance. I mean, he really did have Aaron Rodgers very confused out there. And Aaron Rodgers is a really hard guy to have confused on the field.
Right.
But that throw to get Van Ginkel that Aaron Rodgers had, the interception pick six to Van Ginkel, was Aaron Rodgers didn't even see Van Ginkel.
Right.
Like, and you rarely see Aaron Rodgers throw a ball right to a guy, right? Without even look like Aaron Rodgers physically didn't see a guy. You never see that. Like, Aaron Rodgers has such good field vision that he usually knows where everyone is on the field. And so, like, if he's going to make a mistake, it's going to be just a bad throw like he did to the Cam Bynum interception. Like, that's going to be kind of more Aaron Rodgers interception-like thing.
Yeah.
What he did to Van Ginkel was completely unlike him. Like, he never has those type of interceptions where he just throws it right to a guy. And I thought Van Ginkel played that incredibly, like, disguised that beautifully, played that beautifully, and then obviously I got home for a second pick six of the season. But
I was gonna say the Daniel Jones week one, the Daniel Jones week one pick six, was that also Van Ginkel?
Yeah, that was also Van Ginkel.
Okay, that was all right. I thought we were talking about the same thing.
Yeah, no, Van Ginkel has two pick sixes, and he's very good in short distance throws. Like, he can get in front of a short distance throw pretty good. He's incredibly good at disguising what he's going to do. So I love what I'm seeing from the Vikings so far. As a Vikings fan, I was up at 6:15 a.m. yesterday. I was up at 6 a.m. yesterday, as I'm on the West Coast, and so the game was at 6:30, and I was up at 6 to get ready for the game. And it was awesome. It was incredible. Like, it was a perfect game. I thought offensively we obviously were really bad, but I thought our defense played incredibly well. To get Aaron Rodgers to have 3 interceptions is a huge feat in general.
Yeah.
But to do it, the last interception specifically, to take advantage of that and cost him a game-winning drive, which would have been, I think, his 144th game-winning drive of his career, was incredible. And it was beautiful. The Vikings defense again. You know, I looked at it, I just saw a stat, this insane stat. Every single guy in the back seven of the Vikings, like the starting back seven of the Vikings, has an interception now this season. Every single cornerback, I think, because Gilmore was the only one that didn't have one, and Gilmore got one at the end of last game. So I think it's like Gilmore, Cam Bynum, Josh Metellus, Shaq Griffin, Harrison Smith,
Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel's our back seven. He's front seven. But but I saw that, and it was like a Vikings INT. Let's see here. What I forget the play was, but I saw a thing that was like, I legit saw a thing that was like, I think the Vikings, is it Purple Solution that posted it? Let me see if it was them or not. Who was it that posted it? But it was somebody that posted a tweet that said, like, every single guy in the back seven. Let me see if it might be this one. It usually is easy when I see it. I might be wrong. Okay, I am wrong. Okay, it's fine. I'll figure it out later. I'll figure it out later when I find it. But it was like, yeah, I think from what I've seen, I think I saw a tweet that's like every single player on the Vikings back seven has an interception now this season. And Bynum obviously leads it with 2. Now as well. So no, it's awesome. It's really cool to see the Vikings kind of doing that and helping out. And Byron Murphy's the other one. Okay. He has an interception this season as well.
It's not like they're putting up like an absurd number of points and they're kind of getting some call breaks down the end in these like shootouts where they're winning games like 35-32 every single time. Like it's a complementary and sustainable formula. And it's week 5 now, right? Like I feel like if usually if this is a bubble and it does burst, I would give it like week 7. I think if this is like I think if this goes to 7-0, because who are the next 2 opponents?
We have bye this week, and then we have the Lions.
Okay, so first 7 games. Okay, so and then it's
we have bye the Lions, and then bye Lions, and we have bye Lions, and then Rams in LA on Thursday night.
They might, and the Rams might have some healthy players by that point. So if this gets to 7-0, like the Super Bowl contender conversation becomes extremely legitimate, I think. Because I still
especially because if it's against the Lions and the Rams, like I'm telling you right now, like the Lions and the Rams are the two hardest remaining games we have on our schedule at this point. Yeah. Because after Lions Rams, we have Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Bears, Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, Seahawks, Packers, and finish the season off with the Lions. So, it's just like we have a couple of games in there, but for the most part, I mean, we have a lot of winnable games.
Right.
So we'll see. But, with that, Anders, let's move on to what this podcast is all about, which is baseball.
Yes.
And I'm gonna start with Twins stuff, and then we're gonna do a little bit. We're gonna start with our Twins stuff.
Go in reverse.
We get our Twins talk, and then we're gonna talk about the postseason baseball to finish it off.
Yep.
Twins stuff. There's not a ton in the news right now. However, the big news is Thad Levine, who has been with the organization for 8 seasons, is leaving the organization to pursue other opportunities. Which, if you watched our last show, if you haven't, go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's a great show. If you are two episodes ago, I said I think Thad Levine is gone. Because I thought he was good enough to go elsewhere and take a higher paying job elsewhere, and I thought he was going to do that, and he did that. It's going to happen. His contract was out. Which means he could go seek other opportunities, and he decided not to renew his contract. And so he is leaving. That is a hard loss. Obviously, we do love Thad Levine here. He's a great guy. He's a great mind. But we saw that coming. Derek Falvey is kind of taken over as the main head of that anyway. So I saw this coming. But Thad Levine will do great wherever he goes next. And we're excited for him there.
Yeah, Zach, and just to be clear, like for those of you who have not seen that past couple episodes ago, Zach, like Zach said, like Thad Levine has done an excellent job at methodically building this Twins farm system into an entity that consistently produces like above replacement level like talent. But the leaving of him would not be like through firing. Like that's not what we were saying. Like it was that he's good enough to go to like, you know, a bigger market or of some degree, and that would be something just because he would be paid more or whatever it is, right? Or just like the situation more, whatever. So just that as a point of clarification. But no, Zach, but you called it from a mile away. So props to you. Because the decision on Rocco came out pretty quickly, in terms of that he was safe and that
Derek Falvey's decision came quickly as well.
Both of them essentially came out at the same time. They both ended up staying. Obviously, Zach and I were I forget what you were saying. I said that if I had to let one of them go, if I had to pick a scapegoat for this whole thing, I would have picked Rocco. Zach, I want to say you said the same.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be Rocco as well, but I kind of knew they were going to keep both of them.
But we do have a firing. We do have
plenty of firings, actually. Yeah, also, I will say this, though, and this is from Dan Hayes, MLB. He posted a really good article on Thad Levine on The Athletic. So if you go to The Athletic and read Dan Hayes' article on Thad Levine, there's a quote in there that I really like. It's like, Thad Levine says, I kind of liken myself to Mary Poppins. The kids now know how to clean up their rooms and take their medicine. They don't need someone singing in the background doing it. Basically meaning that, Thad Levine was kind of brought on to be like kind of raiser of this new GM of Derek Falvey, of these other people in the GM office. He was brought in to kind of build them up and raise them and teach them how to do it. And now that that's done, we have our team here that knows what they're doing. His role has kind of been diminishing every year. And so this was kind of his way to say, okay, I've done this now, I'm going to step away. So that was Thad Levine. I thought that was really important. But yes, there were some firings here. And we'll get those here. So the main firings are, let me get the names right. I want to make sure I get the names all right and stuff. But it's kind of what we expect. The main one is David Popkins. David Popkins is the Twins hitting coach. But also Rudy Hernandez is also the Twins hitting coach. They're the two hitting coaches, both of which were fired. Assistant hitting coach Derek Schoman was fired, and infielders coach Tony Diaz was also fired. A lot of these we saw coming. I'm going to be straight up here. The bats were so bad by the end of the season that it was basically a sure thing that Popkins would not be back. And Popkins is the main big name because that is a Twins hitting coach. When people say Twins hitting coach, it's Popkins. That's who people talk about, really. So Popkins was a name we knew was going to be gone. Rudy Hernandez was also the hitting coach, but really Popkins was the name we knew. But we knew they were both going to be gone. Like, it was that a sure thing. When you're that bad for 6 weeks, you don't blame the manager for 6 weeks of bad baseball, but you have to blame somebody. And the hitting coaches deserved probably all the blame.
Mind you, like, this is a situation, right? So, the bullpen down the stretch, honestly, on this show, the sort of like long stage collapse of the bullpen was really a more kind of openly discussed theme between you and I. But a lot of that, you and I, we both said it, but you were on it, I think, like a week or so earlier than I was how a lot of that, the root of it, guys weren't pitching, like that was part of it. But there were a lot of instances, especially earlier, where the roots of things were boiled down to Rocco's management. But he's staying. But someone has to go. Like, it would be unjustifiable to just kind of let this whole group have full continuity and then just run it back, especially if Levine leaves, which he ends up doing now. And so someone had to go. And I agree with you that Popkins, I think, was the first candidate. And I do think it just kind of makes sense that if you're going to fire him, you got to fire like the whole hitting staff. It would be weird if just like one person left. But I agree with you that he was kind of the easiest.
But I will say this. Now that you've done that, there is no more excuses on Rocco, which means Rocco's going to bring in a whole new hitting staff. But if the Twins struggle again this year and miss the playoffs next year or something like that, Rocco's for sure gone. Like, that's always the thing we see, right? Is like, for example, on the Eagles, right? The Eagles fired both their offense coordinator and defensive coordinator instead of firing Nick Sirianni, basically being like, if you don't turn this around, it's your next, basically. That's what you see a lot of organizations. Teams will fire offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, offensive assistants, defensive assistants before firing the head coach, because that's like your last kind of line of defense as a head coach. Is you can blame the guys around you and not yourself. Kind of sucks, but it is how it is. And we see that everywhere, right? I'm a Nebraska fan with Scott Frost. Both the OC and DC were fired for his last season, and then midway through his last season, he got fired because we were still bad. It's just how it is. So this is Rocco's last chance. They've now fired the assistants. He's the last line of defense, which means if he doesn't bring in the right guys and the hitting does not improve and we miss the playoffs because of it, he'll be on the chopping block. And I think there's still a case to say that even if we make the playoffs and we have like a bad playoff series, he could still be on the chopping block there as well. We'll see how that goes, but I could definitely see Rocco's officially like his seat's very hot. And if the Twins don't improve next year, he's gonna be the only one to blame.
I am very interested to see who they bring in this new to flesh out this staff, and kind of like what route do you take, right? Like, do you get someone who is like super experienced in whatever, or do you maybe, because like what was I gonna say? Like,
What is happening in this game right now? Sorry.
no,
Are you seeing this at all?
what's going on
It's 0-0 in the 9th inning.
for the
Cleveland, Detroit.
Oh God! Well, now I have to get my remote. I don't even know. Oh, here it is. God, Zach caught me lacking, guys. Like, second time this episode.
Like, Scooble wins 7 innings of no-run ball, 8 strikeouts. Boyd started the game for the Guardians. Boyd started the game for Cleveland. He went 4.2 innings, 5 strikeouts, no hits. And the bullpens have just been nasty. And now Klaus says it in the 9th to send it to extras.
Oh my God, we're gonna get We're getting live baseball right here, guys, on the show.
But to finish up, we're talking about the Twins here.
Yes.
This was seen. This was gonna happen. Rocco has no more excuses. This is on Rocco now. And I'm glad he's getting one more chance. I'm glad he's getting another chance. But this is on him. And if he wants to keep his job, the Twins have to probably make the playoffs and win a series next year. Or win the division. That's it. That's like the only options.
I'm trying to find like a more sort of, there's a lot of content out there about who could kind of replace him. Nelson Cruz's name has been brought up in every single list that I've seen.
For what? Hitting coach or for Rocco replacement?
No, hitting coach.
Really? I have not seen Nelson Cruz's name. Wow, really?
These are articles from like 2 or 3 days ago. So this list will become more refined, obviously, as the market kind of naturally sort of, brings itself together. But I mean, the other names that have been mentioned, and there's some of the names that you're seeing here, you're going to see in a few places. But Helsley Mullins, who's he's the Rockies hitting
coach. Eric Chavez is another name, the Mets co-hitting coach. Andy Haynes, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nelson, I could see Justin Morneau. I've seen Justin Morneau. I could see Justin Morneau doing it. If we're thinking, Justin Morneau is basically he's really basically with the team still because of he's in the booth. But
Dylan Lawson, who was the hitting coach for the Yankees for a bit, he got fired mid-season in 2023 after the Yankees just offensively struggled. I would probably say away from him.
5 hitting coaches the Minnesota Twins should replay. That doesn't help.
But Eric Chavez is an interesting name. Mullins is another interesting name. But no, I mean, those are both probably the most practical names. Or like kind of names that make sense. Cruz is obviously the most interesting one, I think.
I would, dude, if the Twins, that is crazy.
Zach and I were going to talk about postseason baseball. We're doing it right now. We're live.
We're live covering postseason baseball, but let's catch you up on where we're at right now in postseason baseball, which is very simply, it's been a crazy postseason so far.
It's been great.
The Mets beat the Did the Mets beat the Brewers? Right, the Mets beat the Brewers.
The Mets did beat the Brewers.
In 3. The only series to go 3 games.
Yep.
The only wild series to go 3 games. As we predicted, the Padres absolutely dismantled. Was the Braves? Is that who they dismantled?
Yeah. Did we both have them in 2?
Yeah, I think you both had them in 2.
Okay.
Padres dismantled the Braves. The Royals dismantled God, who did they play? The Orioles, which we both picked.
I think I said in 3 though. I think I
said in 3 as well. I thought Corbin Burns was going to win one. I thought Corbin Burns was going to win this first game.
Let me just.
And then the biggest surprise, though, I think for me and Anders both here, not incredibly surprised, maybe, but like the biggest surprise was
I actually had Royals in 2.
You had Royals in 2.
You had
Royals. The biggest surprise for us, I think, though, was how badly the Tigers dismantled the Astros.
Yeah.
I had the Astros, I think.
We both did. We both had them in 3, although I nailed it that I was 100% confident that they were going to win game 1, and it was going to be like a public stage opening for Screwball, and it was. He was brilliant.
He was incredible, and I tweeted out that I had a mistake on Twitter. Yes. You probably saw it. If you check our Twitter at all, I posted out. Anders Pryor said before the game that Tariq School was going to dominate this game and the Tigers were going to win, and he was right. The issue is I posted on the 8th inning, and then in the 9th inning, the Astros had bases loaded with like 1 out, and I thought I was going to have to eat my words, but they were able to get out of it. But yeah, no. So it was a little mistake on Twitter, but Anders' strategy and clears truly won.
Trey Sweeney, deep hit. I think and now we have Jake Rogers at 3rd and Trey Sweeney at 1st with 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Hold up. What? I'm kidding. I'm actually probably not watching this.
This episode's naturally evolving, guys.
Welcome to Postseason. So then that happened there, and so now that happened there. So the winners of the wildcard races were the Tigers, the Royals, the Mets, and the Padres. And so far in the divisional round, continue. Sorry, I'm sure you're going to say.
I was going to say my Padres sweeping the Dodgers take did not age well, but they could have. They should have. They should be. The Padres looked way better in their win than the Dodgers did in theirs.
Yes.
And so
the Dodgers got saved by freaking Shohei Ohtani, like I predicted.
Yeah. I still feel really confident that they're going to win the series.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Padres look awesome.
The Padres are my World Series pick.
My hero, Luis Ariz, looks incredible as well. But yeah, no, it was awesome. Come on. Who is it?
It's Kerry Carpenter.
Oh my God. Why did they take Malloy out? He's 2 for I guess they took. This is putting in a pinch hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning against one of the best coaches in baseball is definitely a choice. Oh my God. Take the walk. Bring up Bierling. This is crazy. But let's talk quickly about this, what's happened in the divisional round so far. What has happened in the divisional round so far is basically chaos.
Yeah.
The Mets were down, I believe it was 3-0.
Yep.
In game 1 against the Phillies after Zach Wheeler had one of the best pitching performances you could actually have. And they blew it. As I said in my show, I said the Phillies bullpen was a major liability and was going to cost them games, and Andrews disagreed with me. So the Mets win game 1, although the Phillies did win game 2 in opposite fashion. I think the Mets were leading. Were the Mets leading in game 2 and then they lost?
I had the Phillies winning in 5 games against the Brewers. You had the Brewers just beating the Phillies straight up.
Yes. Let me
And
see here.
I think the Phillies will win in 5 games against the Mets too.
They were up. They lost 7-6 because the Phillies got a run in the 9th inning. That's what it was of Edwin Diaz. But oh my God, it is officially 2-2 still. We got another foul ball. Come on, Carey. Come on, Carey. As you can tell, I'm rooting for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Come on, Carey. Come on.
Shout out to the AL Central, by the way.
Runs! It's a run!
You're ahead of me. You're ahead of me by like 10 seconds.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Emmanuel Clase, you freaking suck. I'm just kidding, you don't. But that's
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
God!
Oh my God, Gary Carpenter! You are a freaking legend! Gary Carpenter! I'm posting Twitter. I'm tweeting right now.
Oh my God. Oh my God, the place is like dead. Like everyone's just standing still. This is unbelievable. Oh, look at Clase, dude. Oh my God.
Oh my God, what just happened? Gary Carpenter, what just happened?
Oh my God. Dude, Clase just got pimped like completely. This is unbelievable.
Oh my God, Gary Carpenter, you are a freaking legend in the making right now.
This is why you watch this show, so that cool stuff like this happens.
Oh my God, what in the world just happened here? I can't believe what just happened. Yeah, so there you go. Anders is in shock right now. I am also in shock.
So as Zach was saying, the DL has been the divisional series have been chaos. Right on
chaos. The Phillies are 1-1. I Bleav now this is about to be a 1-1 game. This is about to be a 1-1 series after the Guardians kind of dismantled them in the first.
Oh my God!
In the first game,
Naylor just bobbled up the stupid ball, and safe runner Matt Veerling safe.
Oh my God! Let's see. Yankees are 1-0, and they play today later. And the Padres absolutely destroyed the Dodgers in 2.
Okay, here comes vote. Clase's done.
Yeah, that sounds right. And the Padres blew game 1, but came back and absolutely just dominated game 2.
Yeah.
As Anders said, the Dodgers starting rotation is terrible.
It's not good.
And if you watch our last episode,
even in their win, it was bad. Hold on, I need to check what.
And Clayton Kershaw is officially out for this season, so he will not pitch in the postseason.
Right, but even they won 7-5 in their first game. Yamamoto 3 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs with 1 strikeout. It's not good, right? Like you can't. So like the Dodgers, I don't think they cannot afford to have an off night offensively in the way that I think other teams left in the bracket can. I think.
No, yeah.
But
anyway, so that is that for our postseason content. We just watched one of the greatest moments of the postseason so far, and a Gary Carpenter home run off basically unhittable Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah.
I mean, Emmanuel Clase has not blown a lead in anything. I forget how long it's been. Blown a save, or not even a save, but blown like a hold, and not as long. I forget how long it's been. But Anders, with that, would you like to do our sign off?
Oh, I'd love to do the sign off, guys. This is great. Like,
this is awesome.
what a hopefully by the time we see you guys next, we'll have even this.
Hopefully we'll have more plan on our show. This is kind of a thrown together show, but it actually worked out really well.
It actually kind of worked perfectly because we even started a little later than we wanted to, so though it all timed up great. Everything happens for a reason, guys. But I would love to sign us off. Guys, this has been episode 19. We're almost at 20. We're almost at 2 decades of the Bleav in Twins podcast on the Bleav Network, alongside my wonderful co-host and expert and analyst, Zac Tipton. I have been Anders Pryor. You can check us out, as I salute to Zac, by downloading all of our content and all other Bleav Network content that you guys love on the Bleav.com website. You can listen to and stream our stuff on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you consume your sports media throughout the week. If you are watching us on YouTube right now with all of my shocked expressions, leaning back on my couch in dismay, you should subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can get more of that. It's good. By the time we see you guys next, I will have probably spilt something all over my coffee table, and Zac will have probably fallen backwards in his chair. So if you want to catch that, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Zac, signing you off into the bottom of the 9th. We will see you guys later this week.
See you guys later this week.